Magic dust doesn't create 20 million jobs overnight. It's not going to happen. Do not delay. Don't be the person that is standing and stranded on your roof as the waters are rising, wondering, what happened? What happened here? Where is help? You have 72 hours after a crisis before things get ugly. War is being waged on the Constitution by progressive radicals now. And the only way for them to win is to create chaos, collapsing the economy. They have to have people rise up and demand that the president act. So the left has a plan to create a crisis for the super rich, and it is succeeding. And it's not just Stephen Lerner that we have told you about over and over again from SEIU. TheBlaze.com, go there now and see the article from the oh-so-conspiratorial news outlet of Reuters. Reuters, their piece on how Soros has started the Occupy Wall Street and has ties to it. Now is the time for the top to do their part, because the bottom is rising up. So now, what is the next step? It's top down. Well, here's a video that came out last night, and it should have been the lead story on every media outlet in the country, but it wasn't. Illinois Representative Jesse Jackson, the congressman from Illinois. Why haven't you seen this story on mainstream media today? Calling on Barack Obama to declare a national emergency and take extra constitutional opportunities and act administratively without the approval of Congress. Watch this, it's breathtaking, but he's not alone.
President Obama tends to idealize, and rightfully so, Abraham Lincoln, who looked at states in rebellion, and he made a judgment that the government of the United States, while the states are in rebellion, still had an obligation to function. On several occasions now, we've seen, quite frankly, the Congress is in rebellion, determined, as Abraham Lincoln said, to wreck or ruin at all costs. I believe, quite frankly, in the direct hiring of 15 million unemployed Americans. So for about $804 billion, we put 15 million Americans to work. We bail out the states and we bail out the cities, but we do it through direct hire. We put people to work cleaning up communities. We put people to work through a civilian conservation corps, through a works progress administration, because the hour demands it. And as more people work, they pay taxes into the fourth quarter, they buy wares, they buy homes, they meet their obligations, and our economy begins to work its way out of this protracted recession. I believe that's the only way out of this crisis, and I hope that the president begins to continue to exercise extraordinary constitutional means based on the history of Congresses that have been in rebellion in the past. The president had the opportunity to exercise Section 4 of the 14th Amendment during the debt crisis. He chose not to help the United States honor its obligations because the Congress is in rebellion. When we recognize that the Congress is in rebellion, I think the President of the United States will follow the correct course. He's doing that now. He's looking administratively for ways to advance the causes of the American people because this Congress is completely dysfunctional. If there are extra constitutional opportunities that allow the president administratively.
I want you to watch this, the entire video. It's stunning, and I remember my own audience saying, I can't take any more talk about Woodrow Wilson. This is the plan laid out in Philip Drew Administrator. It's free on the internet. You just go to Amazon, look up Philip Drew, D-R-U, Administrator. It's a novel. It's horrible. But it was Woodrow Wilson's favorite book, and that's what they're doing. They've been fighting this forever. They're trying to make Congress irrelevant, and they're about to do it. They just rather dictate the laws.
We're not going to wait for Congress. So my instruction to Jeff and Jean and Valerie and all the advisors who are sitting around the table is scour this report. Identify all those areas in which we can act administratively without additional congressional authorization and just get it done. I don't know how Congress will respond to the overall package, but our expectation is if they don't pass the whole package, we're going to break it up into constituent parts, and having the relevant businesses get behind an effort to move this infrastructure agenda forward is a priority.
Now, I know some people want me to bypass Congress and change the laws on my own.
believe me. And believe me, right now dealing with Congress, the idea but believe me, the idea of doing things on my own is very tempting. Now, as I mentioned when I was at La Raza a few weeks back, I wish I had a magic wand and could make this all happen on my own. There are times where, you know, until Nancy Pelosi's speaker again, you know, I'd like to work my way around Congress.
Both of those were on teleprompter. I mean, I don't know if I'm in a parallel universe or if I'm the only one that finds a problem with any of this. The warning signs are everywhere. These are unstable times, and they're only becoming more and more unstable. Last night we talked about the Iran terror strike on U.S. soil. Kind of a red flag, you think? Now, Iran is the one that started me down this road about 6-7 years ago. I watched Iran. Now, what I was looking for a perfect storm. Well, what would be how could they possibly win? Well, you'd need this and this and this and this to happen. Could we lose? Well, yeah, this and this and this. Well, all those things have happened. The reason why I'm on this road, it started with Iran, and we've come full circle now, because here's Iran again. Intelligence reports say that it was Israel now who may have broken this news to us, not the U.S. Yet Obama hasn't said anything about it. Why not? On top of this, Iran has announced that they're going to send ships over here. On top of that, we know that Iran is working with Hezbollah just south of our borders. On top of that, Hezbollah just moved to Egypt and made their headquarters in Egypt. We know that Hamas or Hezbollah went and made a book that put the picture of the book that we found on the borders. This is it, in memory of our martyrs. This is from Hezbollah. Now Saudi Arabia is saying that Iran has to pay the price. Senator Carl Levine says that this may be an act of war. Hillary Clinton said this today.
This plot was a flagrant violation of international and U.S. law and a dangerous escalation of the Iranian government's long-standing use of political violence and sponsorship of terrorism.
Do you notice where she's speaking? She's speaking at the Center for American Progress. That's George Soros's hideout. And the president? Well, maybe he's not sure what to say because his BlackBerry is out. Remember the president had a specially designed BlackBerry? Nobody's talking about this, the BlackBerry outage. BlackBerry has a massive service outage beginning earlier this week in Europe. Spreads across South America, then Asia, then Canada, now here. They blame it on a switch failure. Really? In a completely unrelated story, earlier this week, the Senate voted to threaten China with higher tariffs because of currency manipulation. China. I'm sure this has nothing to do with China. Hey, by the way, do you remember that that contrail that was on the coast of California? Remember when people said, hey, there's a contrail in that video, and it looked like a missile? And so, no, that was an airplane. Remember that? Yeah, that looks just like an airplane contrail. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Wow, is that the sun catching that? That's bizarre. That looks just like it. Or was it a missile? Do you remember when that happened? When Obama was getting ready to head to the G20 summit in Seoul last November and slammed China on its currency policies. Now, all of a sudden, a mysterious contrail that appears off the coast of California. Maybe it was a plane, but look at the timing. Coincidence. Wow, that happened, when we were going over complaining about China and currency. And now the BlackBerry thing. Is that a weapon, or was that a switch? 4, Russia testing the waters. Russia is cozied up with Iran. Now Europe is starting to cozy up with Russia. Iran, the country that just attempted a terror plot on American soil. Russia. Everybody's pushing us. Hamas moves its headquarters to Egypt. Terrorist group Hamas reportedly left Syria in favor of Egypt. Hamas, born out of the Muslim Brotherhood, who still remains the most organized group in Egypt, and it is poised to gain power there. 6, the Arab Spring spreads to America. The Arab Spring riots have arrived here. What they made fun of me for, it has all happened. The calls for revolution from the Occupy protest are now happening here. Despite that, Al Gore just lent his support. Here's what Al Gore said about this.
We need to have an American Spring. You know, the Arab Spring, the nonviolent part of it, isn't finished yet. But we need to have an American Spring, a kind of an American Tahrir Square, nonviolent change where people from the grassroots get involved again. Not
Right.
not in the Tea Party style.
Oh, you want one like Tahrir Square, not the Tea Party. You want one like in Tahrir Square. Oh, I remember the one
They were
in Tahrir Square.
trying to tear off chunks of my scalp. They had my head in different directions.
Pulling at your hair.
Oh yeah, and not trying to pull out my hair, holding big wads of it, literally trying to tear my scalp off my skull. And I thought, when I thought I'm going to die here, and my next thought was, I can't believe I just let them kill me.
Yeah, that nonviolent. You don't want to like the Tea Party. You want it like this. Which one seems like a better idea? Which one would you rather be? Which one are you, America? How could a former vice president be advocating for a moment that saw a crowd raping a woman just because they thought she was Jewish? What former vice president, what presidential candidate is advocating for something that ended in the toppling of a government? How is the Jesse Jackson Jr. story not the lead clip on every single newscast all around this country? He's encouraging the President of the United States to behave like a dictator and subvert our current system. And no one says a word. Media's not stupid. Media's not stupid. You got to stop watching the media. The truth doesn't matter anymore. It does to you. It must remain that way. And we are getting farther and farther away from the truth. What is important for you to know is the truth. It is more important now than maybe ever before. You have to be responsible and do your own homework. You have to connect the dots. You are not being told the truth. We are witnessing the Constitution and the free market system under full-fledged assault from every single angle. Step 1, destroy it. Destroy both. Step 2, figure out what to replace it with. They'll fight that fight later. That doesn't make sense. First of all, both those steps are ugly. The Republic is under assault. We make it, guys. We make it. I contend, as I have from the beginning, that this audience is going to be the one that saves it. But we make it. When we come back, I'm going to share the list that I sent my family, and we're going to go over it. And then after that, we're going to sit down with a few people that are trying to make a difference and see how they can help. I want you to know, I am always wrong on the timing of things, but I don't even know what my batting average is on direction. It's fairly high. I haven't done anything with this sense of urgency since the market crashed in 2008. I remember feeling how I felt. And I remember, and I sat down and I wrote my family a letter just like this one, and I said, this is what you need to know. Brace for impact. That was in the summer before TARP. I feel that way again. I don't know the timing, but I know what's coming. I'll tell you what you personally can do for you and your family. Next.
GBTV. The truth lives here.